think that he's good for you.
How do you know what's good for me?
That's my opinion!
Don't you get it? Why can't anybody have an opinion but you?
That I don't think that he's good. That I don't.
Good morning. Welcome to Sandra P's Gen Extra, and I hope everyone has had a great weekend. Happy Monday, as happy as a Monday could be. I'm glad to see everyone that is joining me for the live, and I see we already have a few people in the building, and I appreciate all of you so much that come and join me. Thank you so much. Welcome in, and we have a pretty good episode of These Real Housewives of Atlanta. They keep up some stuff. So I was able to watch it. Of course, I like to watch it on Peacock. So honestly, I just got finished with it. I have notes and everything. And as I like to do, as the chat comes in, I discuss with the chat, and that will add some flavor to it. So welcome in, Linda Gamble. One of the moderators is in, telling me happy Monday, Sandra P's Gen Extra. Happy Monday to yourself as well, Linda. Thank you so much. Thank you. I appreciate that. I'm going to run a banner. Thank you so much, Linda Gamble. So everyone knows that what's on this channel is alleged. It's my own opinion. It's covered under Copyright Act of 1976, fair use. I'll keep that banner running for my own safety. Welcome NCC, one of the moderators. I appreciate it. Thank you. She is welcoming everyone, saying please like, share, comment, and subscribe to put the channel in YouTube's algorithm so that more people can enjoy all of the amazing content. Yes, 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 and yes. Thank you so much, Cece. I appreciate you so much. Thank you. Everyone speaking to each other. Ophelia Burkhalter, welcome in. Happy Monday. Great to see you. Thank you. She speaks to myself and everyone in the chat. Thank you so much for that. Mama Bees is in here, one of the sister moderators as well. And she is saying Grand Rising to you. Mama Bees, thank you so much. Everyone that has come in, thank you. I appreciate it. Pretty good episode of Watch What Happens. I'm sorry, not Watch What Happens Live. I didn't get to finish that yet. That had Drew and my girl Liz on it. Hopefully I copied and saved some stuff from that so that I can show it to you, because those two are funny. I didn't finish watching it yet, but welcome. And then, of course, there's so much homework to do during the episode, after the episode. So I might have a few things to share, just depending on where we go time-wise with this review. So thank all of you again for being here. Welcome to Sandra P's Gen Extra. The new people that are here, welcome. A1 Day Ones, as always, welcome. Thank you so much. So we will go ahead and start. Now, Pinky, I know some of y'all didn't want her. I think Linda Gamble gave her a pink slip last week. But Pinky is here, Linda. Pinky opens the show. She opens the show again. We find out she's working on some kind of series. It's of her life. It's called Edgewood. And then she is saying, she's explaining to her crew that everyone sees the highlight reel, but no one talks about the dark time when you're in bed, you're alone. So we know she was on Iyanla, Fix My Life. We know she had a background as a producer for Maury. She has a new confessional look. It's a black sparkle collar look. And I like the vision for her series. She wants it to be Atlanta meets Insecure. We get Naturi Norton of 3LW, Naturi Norton, what's it, 3LW? Of Power, Naturi Norton of, she was in The New Fame. Naturi Norton has an IMDb as long as Drew's. So if you're going to give Naturi her flowers, we have to give them to Drew as well. Pinky, which Pinky doesn't really pick at Drew. She tried something later on in the episode. That's mainly Kay trying to discount what Drew has going on. But nobody can argue with Naturi Norton. And I think her resume is similar to Drew's, I think. So in the confessional, Pinky is telling us that the bankruptcies are different and that she's under, of course, the business. What she's saying is, leave me alone, y'all. I have $40,000 for this series. So I don't know. You're going to sell this to one of the streaming services? That sounds like something Netflix or Hulu, somebody like that would like it. So she is in there with Naturi Norton. Naturi says, we're giving twin vibes, chocolate girls. I always love Naturi. So she's going to direct this series that Pinky's doing. Pinky opened up the scene. Usually we open up with these little vignettes, but we open up with Pinky. So congratulations, Pinky. It looks like you might be here to stay. We go to Lake Bailey. I'm glad to see Lake Bailey. I love to see what Cynthia has done with it. And as always, I just love beautiful, amazing Cynthia. Drew and Angela show up. The ladies start to drift in. Cynthia's like, I told y'all to be casual. Y'all look so pretty. You know you're not going to get Angela anywhere casual. Angela wants to show up and show out. But everybody does look beautiful. We have a surprise. La Prince is there. La Prince to me is like a hippie, younger Leon. To me. I know they like to say that Cynthia Bailey doesn't have a type because you go from Peter to Mike Hill to now the Prince. And then, of course, she's had her many, many loves over the years. Famously, Russell Simmons. I remember Jason Williams. He used to be in the NBA. There was a public trial. He shot the driver. Do y'all remember that? That's some Gen X stuff. The stuff that used to go on then was crazy. And there wasn't social media. So you might have a public trial, but Cynthia was all up in the mix. Cynthia has been that girl for quite some time. So the ladies drift in. Portia comes in, of course. She tries to get started. She said, Cynthia smiling from ear to ear. I haven't seen 32 teeth. This is Portia next to me. That's Portia. That's my personal picture. I took of Portia walking past me at BravoCon. And yes, she is that pretty. Yes, she is that bubbly. Yes, she does draw people to her. So she comes in there and she wants to know from the Prince, are you in love? And he proclaims his love. We get the Betty Boop Cynthia in the confessional. She says, I'm not surprised he loved me. I'm just surprised he said it in front of them. So he speaks a little bit, speaks to all the women. I believe everybody was there at that point. I know Phaedra was late, but they all kind of greet him. He talks to them and the Prince exited. And Cynthia, the Betty Boop Cynthia in the confessional said, he can read the room. It never works when men are in the women's business. So we know that she is shading her ex-husband, Peter Thomas, who kind of made the blueprint for the men that love being on TV and also take a little piece of the money. So I'm going to stop right here, greet anybody else that came in, and then we will continue with this episode. Linda Gamble, thank you so much for the update. 6 likes, 5 in the chat. So thank you all for that. Key1JTV, welcome in. Amazing Monday morning to all. Miss Sandra, Miss Linda Gamble, Miss Ophelia, Cece, Mama Bees, everyone, Miss Mama Bees, everyone. Thank you, Key1JTV, my fellow content creator. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. If you're not over there, please go. We are working on milestones. So the one that is a flashing light is the 1,000. Yes, the smaller content creators, when we're growing, that is our North Star. That's what we look for. So that is something that I won't give a time frame, but that is in my future as well, and Key1J as well. So please assist us with that. And you can do that with, if you are a member of Team Replay, go ahead and click the like button and also the hype button. Hype hypes the video up, and YouTube gives the video as a suggestion to more people. And I've seen newer people dip in because, excuse me, my video was suggested. So I do like that, and I appreciate it. Key1J, we are doing, of course, season 17. This is episode 10 already. And this is the Real Housewives of Atlanta. You can see Portia behind me. That was last fall at BravoCon. This is the Spangled Banner Mess. It's a recap and an opinion. I have another content creator in here. And Mrs. Best, I don't know if you caught it, but I was telling everyone, if you're new, they should also be at Key1J. They should be at Mrs. Best. Smaller, growing content creators, we appreciate it so much. The new subscribers, and just add us on to anybody else that you're already watching, and go ahead and hype the video, especially when you see us doing shows that you already might watch with a larger creator. Help some of us out, because that does help YouTube push us out into the algorithm. So welcome in. Linda says, I enjoyed talking with Portia and Jizzy last night on the late night live last night. Oh, Linda, you'll have to give me more information where there was so I can go watch it. Did Portia go live? Key1JTV says, thank you. As always, you are welcome. Linda Gamble is speaking to Miss Best Review, who just came in, and Cece as well. Everybody's speaking. You haven't watched it in over a month. Yeah, I know you had to give up on it. It's not, I actually like it. I think season 17, I'm honestly surprised. Everyone's speaking to each other. Let me welcome in Miss Jackson. Good morning, everyone. Welcome, Miss Jackson. Ooh, you are for real. Thank you so much for joining us during the live. Everyone's speaking to Miss Jackson. Miss Jackson, you've probably seen this photo before. I took that myself with my very own camera. That is the beautiful Portia Williams breezing by me with her phone in hand, grinning from ear to ear at BravoCon. That was last fall. I'm going to go to FanFest, everyone. That is in my area. It's in Charleston, South Carolina, which is a hop, skip, and a jump for me. So it's only a one-day thing. I'm pretty sure I'm going to do that. It's this fall, but we will talk about it. You are for real. Miss Jackson confirms, I am for real. Welcome in, Jerry Vet. Thank you so much for joining us during the live. Saying hello and good morning to myself, to the chat, everybody speaking. I'm going to continue and then I'll get in the comments and we'll talk some more. So Phaedra enters. She was a little bit late. She has her green on. She's in a confessional. She says, if Drew was here before me, I'm extra late. We know how Phaedra likes to do in her confessional. She said the party started yesterday. Yeah, Drew's been doing better with her telling time, but Phaedra, you're right. Drew usually is really, really late. So Cynthia and Portia start to talk about the K. Michelle meeting that Pinky helped facilitate. Portia says everything went fine and the group was glad to hear it. She said there was the elephant in the room about the setup and the plot. So then we see the crying K. Michelle said, y'all be plotting on people and you try to act like you ain't plotting on people. I can't tell if production likes K. Michelle or not. They don't show her in the best light, but in fairness, she hasn't presented herself in the best light. So far, I know she has it in her. I still have Sandra P's first season cloak of immunity. Y'all, my sister done bought me a real cloak of immunity. I left it in the car. It's a hooded one of the traders things, so it's so funny. I'm going to get extra corny. I'm going to pull it out and wear it. Everybody's still speaking to each other. So we get Angela was saying that, well, with the plot, I picked up on my spirit of discernment and I met with Shamea. So Angela is telling us, now there's going to be two different versions of that meeting. We know that meeting ended up really fiery. Angela tells it a little closer to how it happens. She's saying that they ended up, Shamea came in destination hell. And we do know that Shamea was insulting her from the door. She told the hostess she's looking for a big tall lady with big feet, no, size 12 feet, something like that. And so she came in like that, which Angela didn't know she said that to the hostess, but Shamea sat at the table on 10. And I don't know, even if you think Shamea won or Angela won, Shamea did come in with kind of an attitude. So Angela is telling the group about it. Phaedra sat up, she's eating something, she's listening. And she said, she came in on hell. Your home is hell. Charles was outside a few times and he saw you. He called me that he saw you. Again, Angela, that's not really a flex, but she wants to get this out there. And I'm not loving this, Angela. Angela starts again. And I was telling her, yeah, why you keep that job with the Hawks? Why you keep the job so long? She's effing the Hawks players. She's over there with the Falcons, effing the Falcons players. This lady is saying players, plural. Portia gets up to go use the bathroom. Portia, I don't blame you. We get a confessional with Portia. She said, this is my ex-friend, but I'm trying not to make any facial expression. I'm not looking any kind of way. I want no parts. I don't blame you, Portia. This was extremely messy. I think Shamea did start picking at Angela. Their little thing started last year, but I don't really love what Angela's doing here. I'm going to read a few more comments and then we'll continue. And I greet newer people that came in. The Anitra J. Not that one, but the Anitra J. Okay. Good morning. It's Sandra P's Gen Extra and chat. And then she's waving to us and welcoming us as we welcome her. And happy Monday. All of that. Thank you, the Anitra J, for joining us during the live. I appreciate it. Cece says, I want the ladies to stop letting Panky Toe overtalk and guide things as if she's their producer. It's going to bite them in the arse letting her take over. This isn't a Yanla or Maury show. Cece, that is a really good point. We see where Panky gets it. Panky gets it from, she does have that producer spirit and also a takeover spirit that she's able to utilize with everybody but Derek and those children, the 3Ds, the younger ones. So I would advise that too. And then we're hearing, I don't know where I heard this. I've heard it said, it's a rumor. Everything's my opinion, or if I hear it, I'll repeat it. Even Reddit, which I call Skid Row. YouTube is the streets and Reddit is Skid Row. But that Pinky was advised by Candy Barris, that the way to kind of get your point across is that you cut people off, you speak louder. I don't know. That could be it. And then also she has her producer take over spirit, as Cece reminds us. And Cece, everyone is speaking to everyone else that's in the room, and there is some crosstalk. So Angela's discernment told her that Shamea is to blame for K. Michelle being so paranoid. I don't think that's the reason, Angela. It could be partially, but she's landed on Shamea. And now she's also blaming her not only for K. Michelle's paranoia, but accusing her of sleeping with all these different players. Charles was outside a few times, I think more than a few, Angela, but you know your husband, so we'll let you have that. Portia, again, stepped out of the room. I don't blame Portia for that. And Angela's in the confessional. The producer is messy. This is the messy lady producer. Why do you think that Shamea is sleeping with the players? Do you really think that she's doing that? Oh, I don't want to do that. That's this girl's marriage. Acts like she's kind of pondering what she's going to do. And then she says, yeah, I believe it. And the producer wants to know, why do you believe it? Well, I trust the person that told me that. Charles. Yeah, we've seen y'all go back and forth and do the dozens with each other. And we know Charles is a big old gossip. We love it. That's why we love Charles. We saw him last season. What about me? Where your husband's at? Y'all want to know about me. So we know Charles probably does see Shamea in the streets when he's out there, and then he brought it home to you. But I don't like the fact that now there's this wedge. There's already a wedge between her and Gerald. We know what Linda Gamble thinks. I'm going to rebuke that in the name of Jesus. I hope their marriage and their family remains strong. But Shamea, you kind of started with Angela, and Angela says, you came in going to hell, and she likes to ride on people back when they do that. So yeah, I'm a little bit, I don't know, I'm getting a little bit leery of where this is going. This could get real ugly. Angela, this is not fun shade. And we know you know how to shade. Bigfoot doesn't mean now you have to dig all in this girl's marriage, whether it's true or not. Whether that's true or not, we don't like that. Dianitra J is speaking back. Everyone's speaking back. So they're speaking about this horse job. The fact that Shamea said she gonna die in that job, okay, and keep singing the national anthem. We get a confessional from Angela, and she's saying that clearly we didn't make up, and she tells the group, I was sorry she left because I wasn't done with her. Whew. So Shamea, I'm glad you left because this was kind of sad. K. Michelle gets a scene with her son. He is an adult now. We first met him on one of her many reality shows. I can't remember his name. Nice looking young man. Now, if you've watched some of her like behind the music type things that they do on her, we know that she was carrying him to her last year of college. Her mother came to school to walk her to class. Florida A&M, as we're going to hear in this episode, she was Miss Florida A&M, and the mother and father raised her son in Memphis, where K. Michelle is from. But she's putting on for the camera, and she's letting the audience know, the Bravo audience know that, yes, I have a son, I'm in his life. But if you've watched K. Michelle, she's been in and out of his life. Her parents raised him, and then they had something going on where the type job he had and wanted, she was kind of not wanting him to have that. I don't know if it was Uber Eats, whatever it was. But now she stresses to us, he's at a corporate job in D.C. If the work ain't honest, it still pays the bill. And this is honest work. So there's nothing to be ashamed about or try to force him to have a separate kind of job. I don't actually like that. They discuss what he's doing that night. He's going to the movies. She shows him her legs. She starts teasing him. Don't bring no fast tail gals. And you better than that. You don't need a gutter snipe. He seems like a good kid. K. Michelle, don't project onto this young man. I don't think he's out here dating gutter snipes or even people that acted as you did. Let's see. Okay, Michelle was not at the scene at Cynthia's house. So over at Lake Bailey, when they meet LaPrince, when Portia tried to get started before LaPrince left, there was, or maybe he had already left. There, a few of the ladies received a text. Portia didn't receive a text. It is from Shamea. It's Gerald's surprise party. It's for the next night. You're supposed to wear your finest African attire. And Cynthia said, it's 8 p.m. Where we going to get African stuff at 8 p.m.? But of course, Queen Cynthia has whatever she needed. Everybody else, Kelly kind of looked like Party City, but everybody ends up having that. Portia doesn't get an invitation. Now, I raised my eyebrows on this because Portia, as what some people may think, K. Michelle doesn't, Queen of Atlanta, whether you like her or not. She's one of the veterans. I'll give her that. She had the first event and she invited everybody. So Shamea, you came in with Pinky and y'all were spilling liquor all over her floor, but now you've left Portia out. I thought that was a little two-faced. I didn't really like that. So Gerald surprise parties the next night. And we find out from Shamea that her and Portia aren't in a good space. So she's inviting who she wants to come. Portia's telling the ladies, Dennis got his invitation last week. Drew gives her surprise look, or as K. Michelle calls it, the face. It's still a pretty face, K. Michelle. She can do her face. Oh, she invited Dennis? Well, last year she dragged me because I was working with him. What's her excuse? Now she dragged you, but this lady sitting next to you dragged you as well, Drew. Portia dragged you also. So Dennis got his invitation a week ago. The ladies are getting theirs tonight. But of course, you know, they can pull something together. And it's Atlanta. They can find something. Read a few comments and then we'll jump back in. Cece says, I love the fact that the prince left. I like when the men know when to go, unlike Peter. Yes, Cece, I loved him. He spoke a little Dutch. Something about donkey booty, or that's the way they heard it. Portia's like, he's speaking my language. But the prince is young, but he's very mature. And again, I get like a hippie Leon vibes. So I like the prince for Cynthia. She's smiling. And producer tried to get in her business. Well, what do you do? When Bailey gets that urge? She was like, that's what FaceTime is for. She didn't start speaking all under the man's clothes, talking about his none of that. Take note, K. Michelle. That's class right here. Miss Jackson said, I don't believe Portia about the invite. You don't believe that that Dennis got an invite a week ago, or that Portia's not invited? Shamea says she wasn't invited, Miss Jackson. Cece says Shamea not inviting Portia, while Portia invites her, tells me everything I need to know. Shamea's fake snake. Yeah, Cece, it tells me everything I need to know too. She wants to blame Angela and all these other people, the fact that their friendship has dissolved or has been put on ice or whatever. Portia now she's literally calling the girl her ex-friend, but saying they can be cordial. I think Shamea still wants to rekindle that relationship. And she's mad. She let us know a week or maybe 2 episodes ago. Why she's still mad at me? I think it was last week. And Portia was the one that said she'll F her husband. Now she's mad at me. So she's mad at the people that have made up with Portia and she's not able to. But Portia and Shamea have a deeper history than somebody like Angela and Portia, or Angela and anybody else, Portia and Drew. So Portia probably knows that Shamea is somebody that she can't rekindle with for whatever reason. And I respect whatever Portia decides to do. So Phaedra is, when the invitations, I don't know if anybody heard Phaedra. She was sitting there eating or whatever. And she's like, Now she's invited. Cynthia got the text. She said, do you want me to bring you as a +1? She asked Drew and Portia. So I'm like, Phaedra, remember Phaedra did that over on Married to Medicine. And that is how Miss Quad ended up at Sweet T's party for her wedding. So Phaedra is a trip. She knows how this reality TV stuff works. Drew declined. She said, no, I wasn't invited. I don't have to go. So we go to the beautiful home, what they always call it, the $9 million home. I forgot the square footage, but one of the Watch What Happened Live episodes, her square footage was bigger than somebody else's. I think Teresa's, I can't remember. It was a whole game. But Shamea has laid this party out for Gerald. It is beautiful. It's looking like coming to America as you come in. Everybody's in their African attire, their native garb, or for Gerald, that's his native garb. I'm going to tell you, the Shilohs look just like Gerald. They are so cute to me. And Gerald has that same face. Angela, I don't think Gerald's ugly. He's just an old man. He's an old man. So Shamea and him make a stunning couple. I love when they're in African garb. They show the ladies arrive. Again, the only one that I don't really think fit in was Kelly. Kelly was a little party city, but she is still there. Oh, that Dennis got the invite a week ago. Miss Jackson, I don't know. Shamea said later that she didn't say the time frame. She didn't want to send it out too early because the fact that it is a surprise party, people start texting each other and that sort of thing. So Portia could have lied. She looked like she was trying to stir the pot. You know that look she get on her face? She tries to stir the pot. Linda Gamble said, Portia said a lot is going to be revealed at the reunion, and 2 of the cast members will not be returning, allegedly. You know, we love allegedly over here, so we take and accept all gossip, even what I find down on Skid Row over there at Reddit. Here is another one of the content creators that I like to watch when she is out there in the YouTube streets giving information, the network specialist. How are you doing? Good morning. Welcome. Thank you for joining me during this live. I appreciate it. Good to see you. CC is saying, I have a theory that Shamea, I want to hear this theory, CC. I want to hear the theory. Good morning at the network specialist. Everyone speaking to the network specialist and welcoming her in. Y'all think Gerald gonna let her come back? She already mentioned, she's going to mention about when we get to the acting part. Now he's upset about that. So this was a really nice party. Everybody's speaking to each other. The men were all sitting there. The prince came. Cynthia, of course, getting her text last minute. She always has something in her closet. I loved the fro that she put on. That was beautiful. It really fit her. Linda says, Dennis did confirm that he was invited earlier, but declined it. Oh, okay. Yeah, I think, I didn't see Dennis there. I always try to keep an eye on the party because you'll see some local Atlanta people and faces that you might recognize. Cece is going to give us this theory. Okay, everybody, listen. I have a theory that Shamea's late party invitation was based on Gerald agreeing to film at the last minute. I would have expected the party to be better if she planned it with time. Oh, Cece, I can understand that. We know she had to shake, rattle, roll, big barn steel to get him on camera and at that party. So thank you, Gerald, for showing up. I appreciate it. Look who is walking in the door. Glam Rocks. Ooh, good morning. I caught a live. Good morning, Glam Rocks. I'm so glad you caught a live. It is good to see you. Great to see you. I'll see you tomorrow morning. No, not tomorrow morning, Friday. Glam Rock, y'all, she has dipped her toe back into the YouTube streets. She's fashionista, okay? But she can also speak on any topic. So Friday mornings, drop in to see her. And if you're not already over there, please go over there and check out what she has as well. The network specialist, Kiwan JTV was in here, Mrs. Best. So any content creator that you see in here is somebody that I like. And that's why they visit me and I'm over there. So when I'm in the streets, you will see me at these different channels. Everyone is speaking and saying good morning. TNTG, my welcome in. Thank you so much for joining us during the live. It is great to see you. Thank you so much. We're still at Shamea's party, which Cece's theory is that it was thrown last minute because she had to beg Gerald to show up. Kay Michelle's at the party. The dentist is at the party. Kay Michelle has a confessional that is pretty nasty. I'm kind of disappointed. She's wearing Sandra P's cloak of immunity. But I'm getting a little sick of Kay Michelle. I'm wondering whether or not she's one of the two that's not coming back. But she's such a train wreck. I can see her coming back. She is, Kelly makes this drunken couples goals speech. Gerald, you couples goals to me, Gerald. I just love you, Gerald. Gerald. Kelly, you are embarrassing. I thought the whole thing was ridiculous. But Kelly was doing all that. And then we see Kay Michelle in a confessional where she's dressed like a knockoff cowboy Carter, cowboy pudding Carter. She's saying, I don't know what's going on in Atlanta, but I want in on it. She said, Kelly's giving this speech. She said that she would like to be in on a situation that would be between Gerald, Shamea, Kelly, Kay Michelle, and the dentist. And we know how her and the dentist get down. That's what she told Shannon. So I found that pretty nasty, everybody. And Kay Michelle, you told us some of your physical challenges included leakage. So this whole scenario was just kind of nasty, and I didn't like it. Kelly, you do a lot too. You get a confessional with Phaedra saying, I thought Kelly said she had a man. She forgot she had a man. And then as the story about Angela and the argument that she had with Shamea, this is where Shamea told a totally different story than the way Angela told it. She says, yeah, we're going to sit down and try to make up and find out how everything is going. And then she attacked my marriage. She came in and attacked my marriage. She attacked the marriage upon exit. So Shamea, I didn't like you telling that lie. I didn't like that. So she said Angela attacked her marriage. And then she kind of embellished a lot of what she said. So Bigfoot, and Cynthia's like, okay, whoa. She said that she was defending herself from you. So again, I think Angela was more truthful about the way it went. She related to Cynthia at Lake Bailey. So I'm glad Cynthia spoke up. And then Shamea said no, and I'm going to call her Bigfoot. Shamea is very childish. She can be a little bit mean girlish, and I don't know what Bigfoot has to do with you being out here in these streets and maybe hunching on some of these Atlanta Falcons as well as Atlanta Hawks. How many? Angela said plural, but she didn't tell us how many. So I think that was a lot. I didn't like it. Thank you, Cece. Thanks for the update. 13 likes, 14 in the live. Please like, comment, and subscribe. The activity helps the channel gain traction in YouTube's algorithm. That's correct. It'll suggest people come over here and see what we got going on. And again, I try to get you to stay once you come in. So thank you. Cece said, why is Kelly crying about Gerald? Shamea needs to watch Kelly. Cece, she does need to watch Kelly. I forgot while they were introducing the party, Gerald, I don't care what anybody says about Gerald and Shamea's relationship. Gerald lights up around Shamea. Gerald loves Shamea. He just tries to be like deadpan because I think he knows how she's being made to look or how she's making herself look, and also him on TV. But he knows she really wants it because he was like, oh, this is great, this and that. Even though Cece thinks it's thrown together. Nice looking brother. I've known Gerald my whole life. When the brother was giving the speech, Kelly was there in her little party city thing. Of course, you're going to see nip slips and all that on Kelly. Linda Gamble was placing a bet. I have 20 on it that Gerald is divorcing Shamea coming down the line. Linda Gamble, I don't want anybody to lose money. I'm not going to put money on it, but I hope they stay together. I do. If that's what Shamea still wants, because we know the whole scenario with the embryos and all that is really stressing her. I hate that for her and her family. Miss Jackson is saying clock it at CC. Yeah, I think Gerald seemed like he would like more a clean woman. Shout out to Phaedra. She said with Apollo, she had a clean man, and she was comparing him to Peter Thomas at the time. Linda, you putting in your bet early. Glamrox is laughing. Yeah, Linda has warned Shamea for quite some time, and Shamea still act like she got to be over here on this show. It's not great. Team Replay hyped the video. Thank you so much, Linda Gamble. I appreciate it. Linda standing tall. Glamrox, yes. So she, as Nene said, she said what she said, and she ain't changing it. Ophelia speaking. So Kelly, I didn't like that little drunken speech that she gave. Shamea is telling kind of like an embellished version of what happened between her and Angela. And then she'd say, with my fake A. And then Kelly wants to make another drunken proclamation. I felt her many times. It's soft. It's squishy. Shamea, why did you get up and start doing a little twerking and putting your booty near Kelly? Kelly starts feeling on the lady. Thankfully, the men were gone. Shamea, would you act like that in front of Gerald? I don't know. Despite K. Michelle's fantasies, if Gerald is a freak of the week or a freakazoid, I don't think he will be doing it in front of certain people. I think he'd be a lot more discreet. I don't think he's down there in the dungeon. Let me put it that way. So that whole scene started to get a little bit creepy. And Cynthia, after she spoke up for Angela and says, okay, as a part of the Bigfoot delegation, Cynthia, me too. If you 5'10" and up, you're going to be in a 9, a 10. Angela's in a 12. Her husband's 6'9" or not 6'11". So Shamea, this, as much as you're doing that, it falls flat. And then Shamea tries to clean it up. Well, Cynthia, you don't wear it the way that she does. You're not tripping over your feet. I've never seen Angela Oakley trip over her feet. Shamea, I did see you weeble wobble. I did see you weeble wobble. You didn't fall down, but you weeble wobble when you got up. Network specialist says to Linda Gamble, I kind of agree with you. This is about Shamea and her putting her marriage on this show and possibly placing it at risk. So we're getting some agreement about that. Mama B says to Miss Jackson, that was an accident. I didn't mean to delete your message. Oh, that's okay, Mama B's. I don't know how we can like put them back up there. Miss Jackson, if it's something you want us to see, if it's not too much trouble, type it back in. Or I might have already read it. Linda says, Kelly, I know who your pastor boyfriend is. The T is out, sis, allegedly. Another name came up. I'm going to try to remember who it was. So far, the suspects that we have, none of them were Nigerian. The only pilot was Ben Tankard. And then the name that came up again was John Gray, also Pastor Jamal Bryant. We're going to see his ex-wife make an appearance this week. Linda knows who it is. Is it somebody that's not one of those three? I heard another name. Oh, you know whose name came up? Shawnee's man, Keon. I put nothing past him. You see the way he yelled at that choir member, stop it. And the lady was just getting happy. We used to call it getting happy. But usually you can stop them. They throw a prayer cloth over them. But Kenya got mad because the lady wouldn't stop. And he said, she do this every week. So I wouldn't go to his church. Now, I'm not one of those people that's doing all that. But when they start that Mama say, Mama Samba, Mama Sa, I like it. I don't see a problem with it. You don't know what that woman's gone through to be able to come to church. But Linda says she knows. Linda, drop it in here. Everything is alleged and in our own opinion. So this party was pretty good. I don't like the fact that Shamea didn't invite everybody. Drew wouldn't have caused any harm. Portia knows how to come in and be cordial. So Shamea, like Cece said, that tells us all we need to know about you. And I'll bring up again, Portia having the first event of season 17 and inviting Lottie Dottie and everybody. I didn't like the fact that Shamea did that. That was really petty. So we get the confessional cowboy discount pudding. I don't know what they licking and sticking in Atlanta, but I want in on it. And then she said something really creepy. Ain't no way Atlanta ain't hunching and doing all types of illegal stuff. K. Michelle, what makes it illegal? What are you into? K. Michelle's nasty, y'all. I always liked her. I liked her on her various shows. This is a different K. Michelle. This is something that's different. And then she swallows her tongue when you could get a scene where she's doing the fun shade. She's not even doing that. And I see why Gerald won't show up on TV. K. Michelle, that was nasty. And Kelly, keep your drunk mouth off this man. Leave him alone. The network specialist says Shamea is a scene girl and her husband is trying to establish his legacy that will live on. Yeah, I agree, the network specialist. The way he brought her on, there's no way that Gerald thought the second season in, it would be this much of a disaster. So I don't know what's going to happen with them. It wouldn't shock me if she's one of the ones that's not back. Because this man, again, he's trying to establish legacy and she's out here clowning. Cece's looking at Linda Gamble. Linda Gamble, we're waiting. Who's the person? Giselle said throw her ex-husband allegedly. Yeah, Jamal Bryant, that's who we thought. Who is Mr. Chocolate, the man that you are sleeping with. And we know how they like to swap fluids. So I can't imagine. There's more than just one with a funky box, in my opinion. Allegedly and in my opinion. Y'all passing all these men around. You know, Phaedra and Jamal Bryant has had their past as well. Okay, that I'm not sure who it is. It's more than one pastor, allegedly. Oh, that would make sense. Kelly, let us know. Now, Kelly has denied it, but I didn't believe it at first. With her reaction, I don't know. So confessional pudding is saying all this nasty stuff about all the group of men. And K. Michelle, your husband is not somebody that you would want to add to the mix. I don't know. If I got down like that, he's not somebody I would allow to come in and get in on the action, if you know what I mean. So the men leave, thankfully. Shamea's lying about what went on with her and Angela at their meeting. And then Kelly is feeling all over Shamea again. Cynthia stepped up to say something. And Shamea reiterates, I'm going to keep calling her Bigfoot. So Shamea, you go ahead and stand on that. And then we get the confessional where Shamea said, and if Cynthia, you were standing on the ground that I was standing on, and she came stomping in. And y'all, why did production show Angela showing up when she had her white heels on? She was coming down a hill, so she might have been stepping kind of lively, but I didn't hear any stomps. But Shamea says she's going to keep calling you that. But now Angela is picking at this marriage. I don't like that. So Kelly, when she said about the fake A and starts feeling on her, Phaedra says, not that kind of fake. She means like fake, her demeanor and the over-the-top thing and all of that. So not that kind of fake. Linda Gamble just mentioned Giselle. Giselle makes an appearance. As she was walking in, I almost didn't recognize her. Giselle was looking beautiful. She came to Atlanta to eat with Portia because the two veterans know you don't just sit down and argue. You go ahead and eat. It helps that they're friends. Portia reminds us that they have worked together on something, I guess, during COVID. I don't remember what it was, but she said that's when everybody had to be, at their own house filming. But Giselle said that she was working on Beyond the Gates. So Giselle, why you have to come to Atlanta to work on a DMV show? But anyway, we are glad to see you. Karen Huger was the first one to go over there. So I guess they had to invite Giselle. Just don't have Ashley Bobblehead. She don't deserve to be on one of our soaps. These ladies get tequila shots. They get lemon drops with tequila in it. And Giselle just starts making conversation. Love like or hate her, she is good TV. They start talking about different things that's going on between them. She asked Portia about the divorce. Last time you were in New York, it wasn't finished. Portia said, we had a 15-hour day in court, but we did get it done that day. Giselle says, I've already asked you about this. I asked her. I want the two of y'all to rekindle. What's going on with you and Shamea? Portia reiterated, that's my ex-best friend. I could be cordial, but I've rested my case. You hear that, Shamea? She don't want you back. So Shamea's going to walk around being angry until she leaves the show. Portia says she's done with Shamea. Y'all, it's a little sad. They've been friends since they were in their early teens or preteens. It's a little sad. But y'all going to be cursing each other's mama out. So Madam Diane and Shamea's mother, Miss Sharon, they have something going on behind the scenes. We're going to find out more about it later on in the episode. Not the episode, but the season. It's in the mid-season preview. So Portia lets us know, I can get along with Shamea until she becomes a problem to my face. And that is how Portia has shown her growth. Shamea, as we know, can be very passive-aggressive. And she's a little bit of a coward. She's a beautiful coward, but she's a little bit of a coward. She's not going to be rude to Portia in her face. She might enlist other people, but she's not going to do that. So this feud can actually go on forever. But Shamea, you got to start inviting people to stuff. Let's see. Linda says Giselle said that Jarvis is Pastor Jamal. Oh, so Jarvis is the boyfriend. Kelly is so corny. She's almost on the level of, if you watch the Brady Bunch, depending on your age, I just aged myself again. But you know, with Gen Extra over here, Jan Brady would make her up a boyfriend. One of them name was George Glass. He's going to call me George Glass. So I thought Jarvis was kind of a fake. So maybe the voice, they played his voice at that dentist appointment where she got her side teeth put back in and some extra big ones. And that was $70,000. So I don't know. It didn't sound like Jamal, but he didn't sound Nigerian either. Group chat. Beyond the Gates is filmed in Atlanta. Linda Gamble, why did I think it was a DMV show? Maybe because Karen was there. And Cece says, Linda, I saw a YouTube video showing some Young and the Restless actors crossing over to Beyond the Gates. That is huge. The actor who plays Victor Newman really liked the Atlanta studio. Is Tyler Perry allowing them to shoot there? I don't know what soundstage is it on. That's amazing, y'all. Young and the Restless. You don't get any older than that. That's original soap opera material right there, when they used to sell soap, or they just showed the shows to actually sell soap to the housewives. Yes, it starts today. And Kiwa J is laughing. So we get to a scene. Pinky's got another scene. Y'all know she started the episode. Linda, here she is again. So Andy said, Pink slip be doggone. Pinky ain't going nowhere. But again, we have the rest of the season. I think Pinky has she's kind of settling into her role. Now, Cece said they need to stop her from producing. But she's just one of them bossy people. She's little and she's bossy. So we got Notori Norton with her beautiful self. She is the director. So she's at the audition. Drew Brees is in looking pretty. Drew's still confused, y'all. I'm just here to say hello. Now she drove an hour. Pinky asked her to audition and she says, audition? I didn't know I'm coming to an audition. I sent an email and told you to send the sides. So we get the confessional with Drew where she has the feathered look. And she's saying that's not the way that it works. So respect the craft. And she has to get in touch with the new manager. Pinky's got to do all this kind of stuff rather than just say, Drew, get in here and audition. Like Cece said, Pinky loves to do. Pinky is bossy. So I respected Drew for just standing on her square and not letting Pinky use her. She runs into Shamea. Shamea tells us in the confessional, I was asked to audition. So Shamea is glad to be there, happy to audition. We get a confessional with her saying, I'm so new to this. I really want this part, but now I'm trying to navigate. I can't do kissing scenes. I can't do love scenes. Now, Shamea, stop lying. That man didn't tell you couldn't do any of that. He said he's uncomfortable. Now, I remember a music video where you were getting down in his house. And that may be why Gerald had to say, look, I don't like all this. Because Shamea is one of those people that if you give her an inch, she's going to take a mile and then blame it on Gerald. So we get a confessional where Pinky said, I don't have no time for cat and mouse with Drew. Pinky, it's not cat and mouse. You have to contact her manager first. So Drew's saying, who are you kicking out? Pinky said, you ain't got to go home, but get out of here. Drew says, I've been in box office. Pinky's in the confessional shading Drew. You do talk to K. Michelle about Drew, because I hadn't heard Pinky do or say anything negative about Drew until K. Michelle started doing that. What do you mean box office? Pinky's saying Xbox. No, she got box office. We're going to pull up her IMDb because we're going to stop doing Drew like that. So Pinky kicks her out. Drew's happy to go. She said, I drove an hour to get here, but she got her 7 minutes in. She said, y'all go ahead and pay me. Remember early in the season, Drew had an episode that was non-Drew, also Kelly. So I think if they're deciding who they're going to keep, Drew might be a keeper. Drew, I love it. Drew says, check her IMDb. I don't blame you, Drew. We will. And Pinky tells Notorious, she says, well, no, she didn't say yes, but I sent the sides, or she told me to send the sides. And Notorious like, I get it. Well, that's probably why. So Notori knew Drew. They hugged. They were very warm when she came in. Pinky, you're not going to get Notori to speak negatively about Drew, okay? They are in the same field, and they kind of know each other. So confessional, Shamea is excited about being able to get the role. She comes in and does a really good audition. Y'all, Shamea is beautiful to look at. She has a beautiful voice. She's animated. She's funny. She's just kind of corny for reality TV because she's trying too hard, in my opinion, because I always loved her as friend of, and then she got on here and tried to maneuver a little bit too much. But Shamea, keep trying to go ahead and add stuff to your IMDb. So we get a scene where K. Michelle is at home with one of her assistants, and she's preparing for Phaedra. Phaedra likes things bougie. I don't have a bougie bone in my body. So we get another scene of Kay kind of trying to get next to Phaedra and find out, how does Phaedra attract all these white fans? Kay, Phaedra is not rude. She doesn't speak under people's clothes. Now, I'm not talking about, we're going to leave season 9 out when she lied on Candy, her and Portia. But Phaedra knows how to maneuver in different environments. Phaedra can go from the White House to the outhouse or wherever else, and she never lowers herself to whatever environment she's in. Even when she was married to the felon, Apollo, she didn't appear felonious. Even though, you know, the rumors are out there, none of the dirt really got on Phaedra. So we get another confessional where Kay is dressed as that discount cowboy Carter pudding, and she's telling us, I've tried everything not to like Phaedra. Now, this was telling to me. She said, I tried everything not to like Phaedra, but I'm going to see what type of woman she is. Now, whatever kind of pie she brings me, that's what lets me know what type of woman she is. So Phaedra comes in the house with a pecan pie. Did she call it pecan or pecan? They both work. So Phaedra comes in the house with the pecan pie, and evidently the type of woman that makes her is a nut. So that means she's a nut. No, K. Michelle, actually that means you're a nut. That means you're the nut. Just like Lil Kim called you that time. You are the nut. So K. Michelle's been out here for quite a while with a nutty reputation, and she misread what Phaedra thinks. I think Phaedra knows she's dealing with a nut, but she knows Phaedra knows that K. Michelle can either like crash and burn, or that she'll be a really, really big addition. I think she'll be a big addition. So Phaedra gets out there. They get on the water. K. Michelle, this home is really beautiful. It's a nice deck. And then they're out there on like the little dock, and they are fishing. So she is giving the bait that they're using. She lets Phaedra know, I had a white man with a beard tell me that you can soak hot dogs in Kool-Aid and use it as bait. And then we get a confessional from K. Michelle saying, well, I'm going to out-country her. She's always testing somebody too. So she's a trip. We get a confessional from Phaedra saying, hot dogs and Kool-Aid, I never heard of that. And it's true. So K. Michelle, somebody was playing in your face, and he was being microaggressive in your face, and you didn't realize it. You're smart, but you're not smart about certain things. So they're out there fishing. Phaedra's like, we're not going to catch anything. Phaedra, you're not. Phaedra makes conversation. That's another good thing about her. She is asking Kay about herself. And she says, well, how is life treating you? How is it being a newlywed? I had a hard time being a newlywed. It was hard for me. You know, her and Apollo was flipping in the ghetto on a dirty mattress. And her mama, being a preacher, didn't really like Apollo, but Phaedra knew she wanted him to father her children. That all worked out for Phaedra. And she said, for me, she said, what I would do is make a vision board. We hear from K. Michelle that He wants kids. Why do these men wait till they get 50 and want kids? He doesn't have any. He wants kids. And I went years doing IVF back to back, and I was crazier than I am now. Phaedra's looking at her like, ooh, how crazy was that? So they discussed when they were at the party, Shamea's party. K. Michelle was holding one of the Shilohs, and she's like, oh, Shamea's little girl. That's a little angel girl. I love both those little kids of Shamea's. They're really sweet. So they're just talking, having conversation. Phaedra decides to slide in a little bit of mess. Do you know why Portia wasn't invited? Now, I agree with Kay. She says, you know why she wasn't invited. So we get a confessional from Kay saying they pretend like they want to be the bigger people, but they're really not. And again, Shamea, you misstepped, and it was really easy. All you had to do, invite Portia. You know, she has her garb just like everyone else, her African, Kenyan, Ghanaian, wherever else they be going over there, Nigeria. Portia has that, the actual one. It didn't come from the Chinese store, okay? So you could have easily invited her, spoke to her, and it wouldn't have been a problem. Drew as well. I know Drew got something in her closet as well. So Shamea makes these unforced errors, and they just talk a little bit. Phaedra wants to know, K. Michelle been invited to Drew singing the national anthem. And K. Michelle, of course, starts dragging Drew again. And she's like, who? And Phaedra says, well, I want everybody to come. Kay's, who? I'll think about it. I don't want to be anywhere I don't belong. So this little throwaway remark that Drew did, I don't know if it was so much of a throwaway. I think once Drew kept getting picked at, she said, okay, I'm going to get you where you live. I'm going to have you thinking about a dig that's actually true. Because we know that before K. Michelle got on, there were big names within the Bravo universe. Rob Dixon, who's now back over there on Real Housewives of Potomac, and Giselle, and others, myself included. I was kind of wondering, that didn't think K. Michelle belonged. And then episode 1, like, okay, she might can do it. Episode 2 beyond, I don't know. She's still got my cloak of immunity, but I don't know that this is good for her mental. I think she's a little too paranoid. I don't know. We'll see. Phaedra is giving her the advice kind of that she gave Britt, like, you got to show up, you got to show friendly. And she says, just come on to this event. And she's saying, well, I'm already sick. And Phaedra says, I'll send you some Theraflu. Kay promises to think about it. And really, that's all you can do. We get a lot of the Atlanta scenes now that we usually get at the beginning, but we get them now. So we are at Rich Homie Kwan's event, rest in peace, that his family throws for him. Drew shows up. She's going to sing the national anthem. That's where she invited all the ladies. But this being a local, huge Atlanta event, any other housewives would, of course, be welcome. We see Drew on a FaceTime with Angela. She thinks it's just Pinky and Shamea coming. Pinky shows up to everything, y'all. That's really all you need to do as a Real Housewife. Now, she couldn't come to, I think, Shamea's party. She didn't go. She had something else going on. And with those night before invitations, Pinky was already booked, which Shamea says she's booked. So Pinky arrives, Drew arrived, Angela was there. I think Portia ended up showing up. We didn't know Portia was coming. I think Portia's going to have to leave early. Phaedra was supposed to be there, but y'all, Mr. President hurt himself. He came in on crutches. Y'all know he doesn't usually shoot. Aiden shoots. Aiden was there as well. So we get to see both of Apollo's sons, Apollo and Phaedra's son. He is on crutches. So heal soon, Mr. President. We hate to see it. I'm going to go back to this Rich Homie Kwan event. First, I'll read any comments. And Kiwan JTV is letting us know. I know, those of you who don't know, you know now. Y'all know Drew is my girl. Yes, Kiwan J, they come for Drew, but she sends them on their way. And she's going to get another scene where she gets to do that. So you could probably see it. If not in the streets, then you could probably watch the last 10 minutes of the episode. Because she's going to, 2 bowling balls popped up, and I'll just say this. She knocked them both down without a sweat and was looking pretty doing it. Thank you, Linda Gamble. 17 likes, 15 in the chat. Thank you so much. The network specialist says Shamea and Angela were the only 2 that don't have anything going on outside of being married to rich men. That's why Shamea is trying so hard to start a business, and Angela keeps failing at real estate. Well, Angela does have a lot of businesses going on, the network specialist. She said there's a financial planning type business. She's some type of business consultant, and she does still have homes in that real estate portfolio. Remember, she got the spider houses over there. that she's supposedly working on. Linda says Gerald family seems to not like Shamea. Gerald's brother looked at Shamea with disgust. Oh, Linda Gamble, I could see that. I find her so inappropriate. And if Gerald doesn't watch this show, I don't think he does. I feel like the brother does. I know the sisters do. To be real, welcome in. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for joining the chat and dropping down and say hello. We are still reviewing season 17. Is episode 10, Star Spangled Mess. We're at the Rich Homie Quan event. It's not the last scene, but it's kind of near the end. But if your team replay, you get the hype feature, and I thank you for that. But it's good to see you in the live. Thank you. Oh, Cece's agreeing with Linda. I caught the look too. I thought I was tripping. No, they seem the type of men that are not able to have, they think they have a poker face, but you can still read them. That's why I think Gerald really loves Shamea, because if his family doesn't like her and then he still married her, and she's in her 40s, usually they would go a little younger. Gerald's in his 60s and they've been together over a decade. But I'm shocked he didn't allow his family to choose. But him being Americanized, not really Americanized, but he spent quite some time here. K. Michelle was sitting in the car at the event. Yes, she had said she wasn't coming, and then she was sitting in the car and got out of the car. I've been seeing clips. Yeah, Kiwan JTV, people are sharing the clips because Drew was able to Drew. A lot of things people forget when they come on the show and they go, I got to go at somebody. I got to kind of pop my collar. I want to show off a little bit. Drew's an easy target. Drew's not an easy target. Drew looks like an easy, sweet target, but she's not. And I don't know why they think that, but they do. I had to rewind the scene, Cece. Yeah, I think the brother did give a dirty look. He gave a nice speech. He loves his brother. He probably think his brother is trying to turn a garden tool into a housewife. And it looks like that might be the case. To Latrice, toot, good to see you. Thank you for dropping down in the live. Everyone is speaking back to Be Real and Toot Latrice. Thank you all for dropping in and saying hello. If you're in the bushes, please click the like button. I would appreciate that. So they're all at the event. It's the Rich Homie Quan event, but Drew's going to sing the national anthem. Portia's there. Everybody's complimenting her. K. Michelle's in the car, and she calls Phaedra. And Phaedra's like, you're there at the event? Go in. She said, well, I would be there, but of course, Mr. President had gotten hurt. K. Michelle kind of has to buck herself up to go out. So she goes out into the event, and everybody speaks to her. And of course, Drew is just looking at her, and she's like, I'm glad you decided to come. And Portia said, why are you late? And then we get attitude from Kay. I'm there for the family, not you. But she didn't say that to Portia. She said it to Drew. All Drew said was, I'm glad you decided to come. Portia was the one that implied, oh, you scared to come in here, you punk. But that's not what Kay did. And Portia didn't catch any of Kay's attitude. Because as Kay told us last week, Portia's a big B. And she might have had a little bit of, what is it called, when they go to the anger management. But she doesn't know if it all took. I think it took, but I also think that Peach Juice and P. Willie are somewhere underneath the surface. They just have to be called out. Everybody speaking to each other, and to Latrice. And to be real, Kiwan JTV is kind of echoing my sentiment, even though I'm still trying to back up off her as her first season on Bravo, because she's a reality TV vet, but she doesn't know the Bravo audience, and she is moving so wrong with the Bravo audience, and I hate it for her. And even Portia tried to school her a little bit when she went on Carlos King and said, I think that the audience is going to have a problem with how she moves with Drew. Key1 JTV says, Kay is weird. Yeah, because why are you giving all this energy? The lady just welcomed you in. The one that asked you why you were late, you didn't say anything. So next we have Drew sings the national anthem. Drew sound really good. Portia and them are kind of teasing like, well, she sounds really good. Go ahead. They're teasing about the runs that Drew's doing, but she hit all the notes. She hit every single note. Drew has a beautiful voice. And Kay, you heard that. Drew can sing. So the last scene, everybody, we have Shamea is going to arrange a sit down with Drew and Kay. Shamea and Kay Michelle are already seated. They are eating. They already have their drinks. Drew comes prancing in late as she usually is. And Shamea greets her. Oh, good to see you. Kay looks unruly. She's just sitting there blinking. That is weird. Kay's being weird, y'all. This is just speak to the lady. You said you're gonna sit down with her. So Drew thanks that. Thank you again for coming. Kay says, I usually don't go places I don't belong. So again, that little dig that Drew did after repeated digs for weeks on her really got to pudding, and now she's upset. So then we see the confessional, the Cowboy Carter confessional, pudding. She's sitting there saying, I'm on IMDb and I'm Miss Florida A&M and I've been accepted to 3 law schools. The reason why she's giving this resume is because Drew is telling her, oh, I don't understand what's going on between us. And she says, I'm not getting a lot of words from you. And Kay was saying, well, I do defend myself. And Drew was telling her, you have to use nouns, adjectives, adverbs. Because again, Kay just like was staring at her blankly. And then she said, I don't know what she said, y'all. Why is Kay like this? Why is she acting like that? I think she's trying to act like Drew is so below her that she doesn't even have to speak to her. But Kay Michelle, you do have to speak to your fellow coworkers. I've worked at jobs where I didn't like people. They may not have liked me, but we could speak work-related stuff. So just sitting there blinking and looking crazy, that's not going to work. Then you over here in another scene because you find a lady hot. You like chocolate girls on your birthday or whatever. You talking all under the husband's clothes and trying to make a sixsome. Just nasty. It doesn't work for this audience. Please do better. Please. So Drew is kind of, she's digging Kay Michelle a little bit. I haven't heard you defend yourself. I'd like you to speak up. So Kay's sitting there. Shamea's trying to smooth things out. Kay jumps up, y'all. She said more in the confessional than she did at the table. I got to go to the bathroom. She had this pretty red Chanel on the table. I got to go to the bathroom. Shamea don't let her take her pocketbook. Kay goes outside, and then Shamea was like, okay, you did start with her a little bit. Drew's, what? Drew's eating her chicken wings. What did I do? What did I do to start with her? Drew ordered her lemon drop or margarita. What did I do to start with her? You were bringing up her man. Drew's like, I wasn't bringing up her man. We all know that Kay Michelle has brought up Black more than Drew did this whole season. I think she brought him up first when Drew introduced him when he was on the phone, and then she's been bringing it up every week a couple of times. Kay Michelle has ran out. And Shamea starts teasing Drew about the anthem for some reason. Oh, yeah, you were singing, but you drug out that free. Drew didn't do all that. Drew didn't have like all those runs. She did fine. Kay ran out. We see the little assistant tip back in trying to get the pocketbook. So, y'all, this was crazy. You know what I thought of? Years ago, Basketball Wives had this lady that also didn't belong. Poor little timid Keisha. Tammy Roman ended up with this girl's pocketbook. I hated it because I don't like bullies, but I had to laugh because Tammy Roman is so crazy. And Keisha was like, and then they were telling her, go get your pocketbook. And then I think Shawnee finally told Tammy, I can't stand Shawnee O'Neal. She used to let Tammy run wild. Give the girl her pocketbook. Tammy said, I'll give it to her. Tell her to come to the room and get it. The way that girl went in there and said, may I have my pocketbook? And then she's like, please. Me and Tammy would have been scrapping because Tammy's not that bad. I'm sorry. I know people love her or hate her, but no way she could have left with my pocketbook. Kay Michelle ran out without her Chanel bag, y'all. All because Drew was talking to her. So Kiwan J, you got to see that scene at least. Kay Michelle is bugged out. To be real, I agree. We don't know where this started, and Drew is still confused. She's like, I don't bother this girl. I barely know her. She's the one that started with me. Now, I do think that Kay Michelle picked Drew as somebody that was an easy target to go at. Because really, if she was big and bad like she claims she is, she would have went at Portia. And maybe she thought she did, but she really didn't. She knew better than to go at Portia. That doesn't really work. CC is telling the network specialist, right. Kay Michelle feels that Drew is the weak one, a punk. I think she's been taken aback by how Drew stands up to her. I see it too, CC. That's all I see. Kiwan J says, according to Drew, Kay said way more, and that is why Drew told her she didn't fit in. I think so too. And K1 JTV, I think that production is still trying to save their Kay Michelle investment because they know she brought eyes back to the franchise. But honestly, she is not panning out like they thought she would. I don't think she is. I mean, I hope she does. But if indeed this is not a safe space and she's crying and all this, I don't want her to stay here. I really don't. I don't think it's good for her. So Cece, I chuckled when Drew said that to Kay Michelle. Why won't Kay stand there and use those law school accepted words instead of running out of every scene? I had to laugh too, CC. Drew was sitting there drinking that lemon drop and eating those chicken wings. And Network Special says, I think she's also jealous of Drew's acting accolades. She might have Drew with the singing, but Drew been that girl when it comes to acting. Network Specialist, IMDb, and when Drew was saying her accolades to Pinky, she was letting her know, I've been in a movie with John Travolta. I've been in a movie with Martin Lawrence. We'll pull up the IMDb. Drew's got a long resume. You have my girl on your t-shirt. This is the sweet Aaliyah, princess of R&B, and we miss her every year, to be real. We miss her every year. Linda Gamble. K. Michelle was dating Black during the first 2 seasons of Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. Oh, so that is one of the men that they have that Drew has in common with her. And then, of course, other men that Portia has in common with her. I think that K. Michelle is intimidated by Drew and also Portia. The other women as well, but those 2 in particular get under her skin. But she wants to be friends with Portia, and she also wants to be friends with Phaedra and certain other ones that she can use. Cece said the scene looked like Shamea and K. Michelle tried to set Drew up, but she held her own and finished her wings and limit drop. 2 against 1, and one of them ran out the scene before it was even finished. I couldn't believe it. I watched the scene as well. Yes, Key1 JTV, it was funny. I'm going to watch it again. Shamea is behind the division of the group. Linda Gamble, I hate to say that, but I agree because we saw her come in season 16, her first full-time season with the Peach, talking about, I want the young, hot girls to get together. Why? You don't need to dictate who's going to be close to who. Just everybody come in. If you get along, you do. If you don't, then that's your coworker. I don't know why she felt like she had to maneuver. I think she wanted to be HBIC because she has the husband in the biggest house. And again, I'll say on any of these shows, we choose fan favorite, Queen Bee, and all that. Not Bravo, not the actors, none of that. Network Specialist says, K. Michelle already said that she know Portia can whoop her ass. And that made her look like a punk to me because she think that she can get the best of Drew. She can't verbally. I don't think she can physically. Because I think if Chicago Drew comes out, she might be a problem. And CC says, Network Specialist, if you think about it, K. Michelle only pops off when there are people in security there to hold her back. CC, she's been like that since Love and Hip Hop. One of them don't hold me back people, but they're really not trying to get away. And now she's lopsided. I think Shamea last meeting, she jumped up so fast and she was in stilettos and she had a little jumpsuit on or whatever. I don't think her booty's lopsided or anything. K. Michelle got a lot more going on. I think she's pretty medically fragile as well. And she's tiny. So she knows better than to try Portia, but I want her to learn better than to try Drew because Drew had her looking silly. Network Specialist says exactly. These divides are annoying. Key1 JTV, because they are so unnecessary that you have to make a divide. You get 6 or 7 women, you're going to have division and different things happen, but nobody needs to manipulate or start it. I don't like that. Thank you, CC. 18 likes and 18 in the live. Perfect. Thank you so much. I appreciate that, everybody. Thank you. So Drew said, she said, I'm not doing anything to her. She's the one that started with me. She's perpetuating this issue. We get a confessional with Drew saying the same thing. Kay is perpetuating an issue and she doesn't really speak up for herself. So K. Michelle has already run out of the scene and Shamea is trying to advocate on her behalf. Shamea, why? So we see K. Michelle out there at the car. And I can't remember what Drew said to Shamea, but Shamea's like, well, that's pretty rude. That's not nice. And Drew says, well, I'll only say something to you because last year you were being somebody else's lapdog. And now this year you're trying to be her lapdog. And Shamea says, well, that's not nice. She's trying to advocate for K. Michelle, but she's acting like she's trying to mediate. Shamea, there's a difference. And Drew caught it. Drew's pretty smart too. Now she's a child actor. She doesn't have 3 law school acceptances, K. Michelle, but Drew's pretty sharp. She knows people. Let's see. Yeah, they wanted this divide last season. Now they got it. The Network Specialist. Yeah, they do. Key1 JTV, have you seen Drew's new body? Yes, I have. I hope I have the picture. I can show it. She just, they always call her boxy and all that. And she had her waist knit. So she actually has a waist now. It looks really good. Linda says, remember K. Michelle threw a lit candle at Rashida Frost? Yes, she did. Because she knew that people were there to kind of hold Rashida back and to tamp down any violence that would actually happen. I love Drew with her shady self. To be real, Drew was eaten down. Drew chased K. Michelle with just words, and K. Michelle didn't jump up and try to fight either. I gotta go to the bathroom. At least say, I don't like what you're saying. I'm leaving. You too punk to do that. I gotta go to the bathroom. And Shamea had her pocketbook. So she ends up calling Shamea, you acting like a lap dog. You did it last year. Now you being a lap dog for her. And Shamea says, I don't like the fact that you're being rude. I was trying to mediate. Shamea gets up to leave. Enjoy your chicken wings. You know, Shamea start insulting like a little 13-year-old. Enjoy your chicken wings. Drew said, I will. I am enjoying my chicken wings and my lemon drop, and I'm going to finish them. Shamea runs out. So K. Michelle's out there in the car. The assistant came in and got K. Michelle's pocketbook. And Shamea's like, I know she didn't leave in my car. And then she's like, hey, can you give me a ride? So the national anthem was either playing or production played it. I don't know. But K. Michelle's out the window, oh, say, and they start singing the national anthem, trying to mock Drew. But honey, Drew was sitting there outside eating her chicken wings, finishing her lemon drop. She had the ladies very pressed. So I had to laugh with Drew. Drew won that one. I've lost count, but Drew won this round as well. So I was so glad Drew did that. Cece is instructing the replay gang. Thank you, Cece, for this. Replay gang, if you will, please hit the like button, drop a comment, and let's hype this video up. Yes, that keeps a growing channel in the algorithm. 20 people came in and also 20 likes. Thank you so much. So childish of them, Kiwan J. Why are you running out of the scene and singing the national anthem outside? Girl, that is crazy. Corny, crazy, silly, and it's kind of pitiful. So I don't think I took any notes on what the next episode is going to be. They've already done the preseason preview, but I think I pulled a couple of pictures. So we got Drew's new body. Let me see if I can find that. Drew's looking great. And let's see. Oh, the IMDb. Let me do that first because I already had that pulled. I said I would do that. That was the end of the episode, y'all. I'm going to give this episode. They had a lot of things happen. Shamea's party, Rich Homie Kwan's events. Rest in peace to him with the family. But other than that, it wasn't too much. So I'm going to go ahead and give it a 7. I'll give it a 7. Cece says, Kay and Shamea were very corny at the end of this episode. They were. I hate when people try to create moments. It just doesn't land the way they think it will. Because this is a mature audience. You can't really make us think, oh yeah, you know, they ate her up. No, we don't think that, girl. You didn't eat her up. Only people that don't like Drew would say, oh yeah, K. Michelle was reading Drew down. She wasn't. She jumped up and ran. Then Shamea jumped up and ran too. Derivette says, I don't think Andy cares for Drew as much to me. Yeah, Andy has his favorites and then he has people that he doesn't like. I have to watch her and watch what happens live. She's over there with old crazy Liz. Liz is losing the audience at lightning speed. It's Rhode Island. So if you guys have not watched that yet, it's worth watching. It's one of the better franchises to me, even though they're season 1. He doesn't seem to like Drew that much. Yeah, Cece, I see it too. Andy, okay, Cece gave it an 8. Linda Gamble gave it an 8. Yeah, it was pretty good. We got them to catch up on a lot of things that's going on. Mainly this feud with K. Michelle and Drew. Because it started out as K. Michelle and Portia. I have a thumbnail where I had K. Michelle against Portia. But because K. Michelle is a coward, she has already put it up there that Portia is a big B and can kick her A. So now she's not going to do anything. All right, we'll start out with K. Michelle. Y'all, this is funny. This picture is from IMDb. So she's listed as a composer, an actress, and she's been on a soundtrack. So they're also showing some of her... she's born in 82 in Memphis. She's known for American Soul. Now, that's the series that was about Don Cornelius, Soul Train. I didn't know she was in that, even though I watched it. She must have played one of the musical stars. K. Michelle, Hard to Do. That's one of her reality series. And then I know there was some other stuff she was in. Okay, known for. So there's a few things. And then they got a ton of music, y'all. She has written a lot of songs. But again, she's no big country music star. Now, if you were smart, you'd be putting this stuff out there. So they have her on here as an actress. She got quite a few movies out here. I didn't know she was in Jason's Lyric Live. Single black female, I do know she did that. Female black female 1 and 2, Simone's Revenge, American Soul. So, and then they list the videos, everybody. The list of videos is actual, if she's doing movies. So really, Michael Jackson started that. Music, films, and it will be a video. All right, now here's Drew Sidora's IMDb. So, okay, Michelle, you have some things over here on your IMDb, and now here is Drew Sidora. And, oh, she's a few years younger. She's 1985. Kay, you think because she's a little bit younger than you that you can run over her. Y'all, look, that goes back to White Chicks was 2004. Step Up was 2006. I know that. Wild Hogs, 2007. Oh, Egghead Ralph is still on here. They have 2 children. So her divorce is not final yet from him. These are some big movies. White Chicks. Wild Hogs is the Martin Lawrence movie. Something called Never Die Alone. She's got a ton of credits, y'all. 57 acting credits. She's produced. She's been on 2 soundtracks. And then, of course, TV. We know her from The Game. So Drew has been out here in these streets. We know Drew name. I think I saw 2004 might have been the earliest. She's a child. No, earlier than that, y'all. Divas. 1995. Okay, let me see how far back you go since I got it up. All right, so we see a credit for her something 1995. 2007, that's music though. And the oldest thing that Kay have would be music. So I'm not to compare them, but Kay, you seem to always compare them. And Drew actually has a lot more going on, a lot more. So I don't know, Kay, you might not want to do that. And then we saw Notori Norton. Notori Norton, I think her resume is similar to somebody like Drew's. All right, let me see. I'm going to see if Drew's body is on here. Let's see what else. Everybody, thank you so much for joining the live. Let me go back and get any other comments, and then I'll show you whatever. I saw those on Lifetime. To be real, yeah, that Lifetime has some good movies. Also, Tubi. Kay was trying to shade Tubi. Tubi pays well, and Tubi is open to a huge audience. It's owned by Fox Movie Network. They play in Drew's face because she's humble and don't brag enough. The network specialists, a lot of us have that problem. You got to pop your collar because people will try to make a fool out of you. And I'm glad that the new Drew, after being gaslit by old Egghead Ralph so many years, Drew's not going for it. But Drew's never been a punk. She's always defended herself, and I love that. Drew is in the new Scary Movie 3, The Wayans Brothers, coming out soon, 2026. Linda Gamble, they released that, and I think they said that's at the $100 million mark or something. So Drew has been a problem. And Key1 JTV is saying the network specialist, when she does brag, it's still a problem. Thank you. That's why if they're going to hate you anyway, then you might as well go ahead and pop your collar. Don't worry about what these other ladies think about it. All right, let me bring up, I'm going to share screen again, and then I'll just show. All right, this right here, this is Drew. Liz, you look a mess. Coexist. Be the witness. That dress looks like a trash bag. Liz is a mess. Y'all know I love Liz crazy self. Liz is losing the audience at a rapid pace. Drew's looking good. See, Drew has a waist. Remember they call her boxy? Boxy wear. Drew's looking good. She's got a waist. I love it. I love it. I love it. So I'll have to go watch that. That's usually only like 21 minutes. All right, let me see where else. Kiwan mentioned the body. So Drew does have her new body out here. I love to see it. Oh, here it is. Here it is. Yeah, I'm getting better with this. You know, I have people in the bushes or they're running errands or they're just listening. And when I go back and check myself, I can't stand the loud silence. Silence is very loud. So I appreciate all of y'all patience while I was working with getting better. Y'all, that's Drew. Yeah, that's Drew. That's not Portia. That's not Melody Cherie. That is Drew and her waist. So, yeah, she didn't get anything inserted. She got a little bit of something removed. That's called the nip tuck. And it's looking good. Go ahead, Drew. Drew Sidora, she posted that. New body, Lipo 360, Mia Aesthetics, and then Dr. Fauci, Fasui. Still swollen, but these are my results. Just 1 week post-op with my shaper on. The transformation is already taking shape. I'm excited to see how everything settles over the next few months. That's the Bravo Shade Room. Drew, we're excited to see it as well. Y'all, she's looking beautiful. Go, Drew. K Michelle gonna go crazy when she see that because Kay knows she bet not do nothing else to that body. Already can't walk upright, just mumbling and stumbling. Let's see. We'll go through the comments. I'll see whatever else I have about Drew. Somebody tell Kay her 2 Lifetime movies is also showing on Tubi. Key One JTV, yes, before she start making fun of Tubi. Who got first chair, Drew or Liz? Drew. CC Drew was sitting right up under Andy. Like her or not, Andy ain't no fool. I have to finish watching it. But yeah, Drew did well from what I saw. How could Drew afford cosmetic surgery but couldn't afford to leave the house? Must have been a promo sponsor. The network specialist, yeah, she actually tagged the doctor and then the procedure. So Lipo 360 at Mia Aesthetics and then with Dr. Fasui. So yeah, that's how they get. Y'all, I was saying Kelly was kind of sell it. Did you sell it? Like Drew asked Britt. Did you sell it for Kat? She's sitting up there acting like her new man paid for her teeth. And then people coming through Atlanta Hartsfield said Kelly's picture is up there, biggest day with the dentist. So Kelly, you're a liar. You need to get out of here. So Kelly evidently got some free work done as well. Why do they lie like this? I wish they would stop playing with the audience. I don't like that. A little embellishment, okay, but don't come on here and lie. This man ain't spent no $70,000 on your little hobbit teeth. Linda says, Drew is making an appearance on the Lifetime movie with Remy Ma on June 20th, 2026. I'll look for that. I like Lifetime movies, and I want to support Drew. Kiwan said, as long as Drew don't touch her face. She needs nothing done. And did you see? That was very sinister, K. Michelle. You being older than Drew. Drew need to fix her face. Maybe she'll fix her face and keep her husband. She doesn't want to keep her husband. He is still in the basement. The judge says she doesn't have to move. I advise she move. I feel like those type of men are dangerous. AKA a la Martell Holt. I feel somebody that feels like they own you like that can be really dangerous and can cause all kind of problems in your life. So I'm still praying for Melody Cherie and what she goes through at the hands of Martell. And we know that Ralph advises him a lot. So Drew, I don't care what that judge say. You got the money. Get up out that man's house. And he is wired for sight and sound all over the house and has been doing it. CC, I don't believe Drew's financial filing. She's playing like Candy and Todd did during their divorce filing. She should act like she doesn't have any money. Well, that's why she tagged the people, CC, to say that it is, look, they gave this to me and I did free advertising. But she was saying she's making $12,000 a month, CC, and Ralph's over there making $70,000 plus. So he pays all the bills except the bug man. And then Drew didn't want to pay him, and that was $100. CC says, Drew favors Portia in this pic. Yes, that's why I had to shout out. I said, that's not Portia or Melody Cherie. That's Drew. Beautiful. Yeah, network specialist agrees with CC. That has to be it. Yeah, she better not play too much with those court docs. Drew is snatched. She is snatched, to be real. She says she still got the shaper on, but it's new work. And it's lipo, so something coming out. Not anything going in, K. Michelle. Fix a Flat Man didn't go to her house. Network specialist said, I'd be scared. You get what you pay for. The free work, I don't know. The network specialist, I'm sure her being a housewife and having that large profile, because people, they are familiar with the housewives, whether people think they're top tier housewives or lower tier housewives. And K. Michelle, I don't know how she can put anybody on any type ranking schedule, but I think they would want to do amazing work on her. Instead of Lipo 360, I need a Lipo. I need a Lipo 720. See, that's why I'm not even going to try to do all that. I'm trying to do a couple of crunches, cut down on what I'm eating. The network specialist says a lot of people think Drew looks like Portia. I can see it at certain angles. And Portia has tweaked her face. But what I like about Portia, I don't mind when they get work done. I don't want them to be unrecognizable. And then I don't want them to come back and shade someone in their natural face, K. Michelle. So K. Michelle calling Tamar a Muppet and all this kind of stuff. She looking like Muppet or Whoville herself. So they got to be careful when they do that. Not everybody needs it or wants it, but don't knock the ones that choose not to. Drew needs to move out. Yeah, Linda, I'm scared for her over in that house. Like Kay and Croy over there fighting. To be real is laughing. I'm not sure what I said, but probably shaded somebody. You know, I don't mean any harm. We like to have fun over here. And let me see. I saw something else. I'd saved all of my posts. So let me stop. I'm going to go back and find a few more things. Oh, Drew. You know, Drew's doing her media run. Drew's doing her media run. So I'll show you what she says. And again, Drew did not throw the first. Well, no, let me go back, y'all. Drew, I was getting ready to lie. Drew said, "Oh, okay, Michelle's coming. Does she sing? Does she still sing?" So that was the little bit of shade that Drew threw at K Michelle. I don't think it was that much. And then K Michelle wouldn't have known that anyway, unless production told her. I don't think it was enough for her to be going at this lady the way she is now.
This reunion, she got to start speaking up for herself. Yeah. Like I said, use your vocabulary, use your vernacular and express your emotion. It's giving we have another biggest fan entering into the group. I'm gonna have to pull out these headshots again. I don't know, get my where's my Sharpie? Because at this point, she's been watching, she referenced, my TLC movie, and I'm like, girl. So she's watching me, she knows who I am, and I think she just is maybe looking for a moment. I don't know. But I think with her star power and sitting at the table, coming into this group, it's never easy to navigate this friend group. So maybe she's just like overthinking it. I feel like, sometimes she may be overthinking it or really, believing that we're all here to get, her in some way. And that's just not true. Like, I really was looking forward to connecting to not only her, but all the ladies. And, we have our differences, we have our moments. Yeah. But no, I would never try to destroy someone, especially if they're married. It's like, I'm going through my divorce and I don't wish that on anyone, even my worst enemy. It's been really tough. So for me, I'm like, let's just talk about it, girl. We get to this reunion, she got to start speaking up for herself. Yeah. Like I said, use your vocabulary, use your vernacular and express your emotion. It's giving we have another biggest fan entering into the group. I'm gonna have to pull out these headshots again.
Yeah, so she's right. K Michelle did study before she came on the show, even though she's claiming that people did that to her. And honestly, that's a little bit of shade that Drew's throwing. Like, speak up, use your words, but it's not bad advice. Same thing Portia did over at Carlos King. But K Michelle is one of those people that looks to be offended and then tries to act on the offense. But if she doesn't act in the scene, we don't care. We want to see her act on whatever the offense is in real time. All right, I'm going to show y'all one more thing that is in real time, and it's also RHOA related. We know that Angela came in her first season. That is Charles Oakley. And of course, he, part of her storyline, season 16, we know Charles had a huge ruckus at Madison Square Garden. That family, the Dolans, are horrific. They have invited the Orange Clown to game 3 at the Knicks. My brother just went up because they haven't won since we were children. So he's not going to a game, but they have all these street scenes that are going to be going on. Now, I heard they canceled the one right in front of the Garden because the orange blob is threatening to come. So Charles Oakley, he was thrown out of Madison Square Garden, cussed a couple people out, yoked a couple people up, and has been banned for what the Dolan family says is life. They own the Knicks. They also own Madison Square Garden. So this is from the Jasmine brand. And Michael Jordan, we know that he is NBA legacy fellow. He owns a team as well, partial ownership of our home team, the Charlotte Hornets. So Jordan's part of that ownership team, and he's well respected in the NBA because he is a legend, the other MJ. So he's tried to appeal to the NBA commissioner to talk to the Dolan family, get Charles back in the building. Because I don't know if Charles Oakley has ever apologized. I don't know if he's the type to apologize. For me, the kind of person I am, whether he apologized or not, what he meant to New York as a Knick and even now, of course, he should be at any and all the games that he wants to go to. I don't know, Maya Mamdani, Spike Lee, anybody else, I'd like them to speak up. I'd like the Dolans to be the bigger people. They're not the bigger people. So we'll see what happens. Everybody wants him back in the building. Somebody said, it's bad when MJ can't even get you in there. Laugh. Yeah, this is terrible. Somebody says, let's normalize not trying to be in spaces where they continue to say you're not welcome. Sometimes rejection is your protection, sir. I would agree with that, except for, in this case, Charles Oakley is one of the bricks that built the Knicks. So I'd love to see him in there. I would love it. I'd love it. Cece says, has RHOA's reunion seating chart come out yet? I haven't seen it. Let me see if we could find it quickly, because I think that they have already scheduled the reunion, CC. So it seems like they would have that. I'll see if I can see that while we're still online, everybody. So I'm curious we'll do some guesses. I think Portia would get first chair, and probably K Michelle will also get first chair. But we'll see. So I got my guesses out there. We will see who gets first chair. All right, shows Real Housewives of Atlanta. And I'll share this. I'll scroll down. It'll be right there if they have shown us this. And then this is going to end the live in a few minutes. I haven't watched our girls on Real Housewives of Rhode Island yet. Pinky Cole touring her home, Angela Oakley, and there's Portia confronting Dennis. I don't see it up here, CC. Yeah, they would actually have that on there. That will be an extra. As soon as they do one, I'll go ahead and we'll do an extra on that. Good question, CC. Thank you. I was a big fan of the Knicks back in the day when Patrick Ewing and Charles Oakley were on the team. Charles should be there. Absolutely. And Patrick Ewing, I'm sure that is another face. He's kind of like an ambassador as well. He's a coach. I'm sure that's someone else that also went to the Dolans and appealed. But if Michael Jordan appeals, and you're so disrespectful, never bounce the ball a day in your pasty life, looking like a fish belly. I cannot stand James Dolan. And let me read one more comment from the network specialist. For me, Angela can go. I'm sick of her recycled jokes. Keep calling Shamea a lapdog. Girl, come with something new. And kissing up to Portia when she says she should sleep with your husband. The network specialist. I actually like Angela Oakley on the show. I want her to settle in. I think she is a shade assassin. I don't like any recycle reads. The lapdog thing, that is last season. And I think Shamea coming for her about big foot, big feet, big this, big that. I think that Shamea actually started with Angela. The Toya Jackson nose and all this kind of stuff. Now that might have hurt Angela a little bit. I can tell that the nose is not as pinched as it was. So I don't know what they can do, but whatever it was, she got it done. Thank you, CC. Have a blessed day, everyone. Yes, everyone. Thank you for joining Sandra P's Gen Extra. We're right at an hour and a half. I will see you in the YouTube streets. Goodbye, everybody. And I'll have at least an hour in advance for the Real Housewives of Rhode Island. Bye, everybody.
I don't think that he's good for you.
How do you know what's good for me? That's my opinion! Don't you get it? Why can't anybody have an opinion but you?
That I don't think that he's good. That I don't.